The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally.
We're pretty sure she's using ChatGPT to get her information.
That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me.
But don't bring it up. It's Betty Rock with Newsish on The Wally Show.
If I've learned anything when it comes to the stories Wally has shared about him growing up as a rebellious kid, is that the more you tell them no, the more they'll find a way to figure it out and do it on their own.
And truth be told, I'm still that way. I'm like at
Yes.
work, if somebody said, "Oh, you can't do that." Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll show you that I can.
See
and
you
I
on the
will.
other side.
Yeah, exactly. And parents do this because they want to keep their kids safer. Mainly, you see this played out when it comes to using tracking apps like Life 360 to make sure that they're driving safely, or banning them completely from social media. But a new study has shown that if you ban your kid from social media completely, or you use tracking apps on them, ultimately it's going to break down trust between you and your kid, because they will tend to hide things instead of speaking up.
This is a tough area because every kid's a little bit different, but I know like tracking apps. You don't trust me, Mom. Well, you're right. Like that. Like that's how I parented. Like
Yeah.
like if they get upset, well, yeah, you're right, because you're a kid and you're going to do things that aren't always the smartest. And I
Right.
know this because I was a kid and I did things that weren't the smartest.
You got a speeding ticket, got pulled over the first week.
Of driving, yeah. And like
Right.
2 actually. And so insanity. And so as a parent, you want to protect your kid, but your
course you
kids are
do.
naturally going to fight against that.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to say that like if you do like blanket laws or the because I said so in essence,
Yeah.
that it has an adverse effect.
It's going to backfire
Yeah.
on you. So instead, maybe you're in a similar situation and the whole "I told you so" isn't working with your kid. You've got a little Wally that's just not listening. Instead, what you need to try and do is build trust. And basically, this means make your kid part of the conversation instead of just being controlled.
Sure.
So if you don't want them to be on social media, be honest and open with them and share with them why. You
Right.
can't just say, "I told you so."
It's bad. You
Oh,
tell
right.
them why.
You need
Right.
to bring them into the conversation, or if you're using tracking apps on them and they feel like you don't trust them, explain to them why you're doing
Right.
it and your heart behind it.
Because if you don't show up where you're supposed to show up, I can look at your tracking app, and not because I think you're somewhere else, it's I can make sure you're safe.
Right.
And so share the love part of it as the why.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, it's your job as a parent to sometimes not be their friend and
Right.
and make the tough calls. And they're not going to like that. But I think if you can, like you're saying, if you can have them part of the, well, how do we navigate this?
Right.
And I'm not a soft parent by any stretch of the imagination. Ask my kid. Like, soft parenting was not a thing for me. But like, if you can invite them in, think of it at work. When work has a project, you like to be consulted. You like to be asked how you would like to manage this project. If you treat your kids like that, you might get a better end result from them, just like your work would get a better result out of you.
Look at you. You are trying to mature and
Yeah.
grow up. It only
And
took you 57 years.
If that doesn't work, because I said so. Like that's always, you just keep that in the back pocket for if you need it. Uplifting WayFM, this is The Wally Show. Kristen, thank you for joining us. I think you would agree, if you're a parent, that sometimes parenting is not easy, and the things that you want to do to protect your kids, they just kind of naturally fight against. Did you ever experience that as a kid?
I did. I'm a little younger than you, but not much. I'm in my late 40s, so this name will mean something to you when I say it, okay? When I was in either 8th or 9th grade, my parents, were saying, we need to know where you are, you need to call, you need to do this, and I felt very stifled. And my dad sat me down one night and showed me a picture of a kid named Adam Walsh. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, America's Most Wanted. His dad, John Walsh, became the host of that. And after his child was murdered, he found a whole new direction in his life and wanted to help kids be found and bring people to justice.
Yep, exactly. And my dad said, this can happen even when parents are vigilant and care and are doing all the right things, this can still happen. And I don't want it to happen to you. And that made me not resent my parents. I checked in gladly when I knew they were just doing their job.
Betty had shared an article about this that she had come across, and she's right. I think if you make them part of the decision and how are we going to manage this together and the why behind it, you probably will get a little less pushback. You're still going to get some pushback because that's what kids do. But at least if they know the reason, ultimately, they might not see it in the moment, but a little bit later on, they'll see, yeah, it was a thing of love, not control.
Exactly.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. My wife and I are going on a trip, and it's a road trip, and we disagree about packing, but as much as I hate to admit it, she's better at it than I am. Like, I try to do it. Like, I'm like, oh, this is good. And she looks at it, and she's just like a genie, like a packing genie. She looks at it and goes, no, if you turn this way, move this that way. Here, just get out of the way. And I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am, and I do.
Well, she might like this idea that I ran across. It's called Sudoku Packing. So you know the game, Sudoku.
Yeah, the math game.
Yeah, exactly. So they've used that as the basis. So pretty much what it is you have, it's like the grid puzzle. So you have 3x3 grid of a top, bottom, and layering piece. And it creates a total of 27 outfits from 9 pieces of clothing.
Oh, so this is outfit packing.
Right.
Oh.
So you pick out 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and 3 layering pieces. And that's all you have to worry about. And in that, you get 27 outfits.
That's actually not a bad idea.
A lot of people are implementing it. I think I'll try it too.
Like, okay, so we're going to Florida. I think we're going to be gone 4 days. I have my small, and this is the advantage of like going someplace hot, like you're taking smaller clothes. When you travel someplace cold, everything's bulky. I'm taking a carry-on bag, basically, a small carry-on bag.
Nice.
I put my entire week's worth of clothes in one side of it.
Whoa.
Zipped up, ready to go. I came into the room the other day. She has the medium suitcase out, and it's bulging. I'm like, how is that possible, lady?
Yeah, because you don't know what the day's going to bring. You might need a light jacket. You might need a cardigan. I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
I might have to go home before we leave today and tell her about Sudoku packing and have her look into it. And then we're supposed to be taking a longer trip, like a 2-week thing. And that is one that I think I want to look at that and go, how can I wear the least amount, bring the least amount of stuff?
Right, because if you're saying it's a 20-day thing, this is 27 outfits, and all you're packing is 9 things.
I do like that. That's a good idea. Now you have to wear things multiple times.
That's true.
That's the one thing.
So don't eat spaghetti because you're bad about spaghetti spilling on you.
That's it. It's not that I'm worried about sweating through any of it and like wearing gross old clothes. Fine, I can do that. But I will spill on myself.
For
I
sure.
always bring 2 pairs of jeans because I know, especially if I'm at Chewy's, some of that sauce is going on my jeans. It's just it's an inevitability.
Whose dish is on the chopping block?
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. Time to do a little musical Chopped here. We've got to make some tough decisions in life, and we need decision makers right now. People who aren't afraid to get their hands a little dirty and do the hard work. Because we have 2 songs, and we don't have enough time to play them both at the end of the hour here. So we're going to have to get rid of one of these 2 songs. It's getting chopped. But I don't want to make that decision because, you know what? Jordan Feliz is a friend. I like him. He's a nice guy. And he'll cry. Like if I call him and go, Jordan, I had to chop your song Changed, he's going to be really sad.
Why do you not like
I know. Jordan, I do like you. I love your hats. I love your hair. There's nothing wrong with you. We're still friends. You're my guy. Still. But I'm sorry. I had to do it. See, I don't want that conversation. And then you've got John Reddick. Quite honestly, John Reddick would hurt me. Like, he seems like a nice guy on the surface, but there's something brewing behind his eyes. And so if I say, hey, dude, I had to chop your song, and
what? What are you going to do?
Exactly.
What?
I will
Say
cut
it to
you.
my face.
Yeah. And so I'm scared of John Reddick, quite honestly. I mean, and who wouldn't be? So this is where you come in, because you have a little bit of a gap between you and them. And so I need you to make the hard decision today and tell me which of these 2 songs you're going to keep, which you're going to chop. It's Jordan Feliz, Changed, or John Reddick, I Believe It. Now, What I would really like, though, too, is your explanation of why you're keeping that song today. That's the important part, honestly. Like, I want you to have a good reason for why you love the song that you're keeping and why it matters to you.
And if it ends with an invitation to that certain artist in a fist fight, we're all in.
So 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. It's Musical Chopped. You can help us make this decision right now. 855-33-WAY-FM. So which of these two songs are you keeping, Rachel, and why?
Definitely the John Reddick one.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jordan's going to be heartbroken, Rachel. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, but if you're scared of him, so am I.
Yes,
so.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So why do you like the John Reddick song, I Believe It?
So I listen to the radio in the car with my kids every single day, and I just love them hearing, this is what we believe. I love being reminded of it. I love singing it. I love them hearing it. Because I hear them singing it. I don't know. It just means a lot to me, and that's why.
Well, you know what, Rachel? You've done some good work here today. Because Jordan Feliz, I'm going to be on the business end of a hissy fit. No big deal. But with John Reddick, you saved my life. Thank you.
You're welcome. Life saved. Mission accomplished.
I love that I'm building up this thing with John Reddick, and he's like the nicest guy in the world. But people are like, I heard John Reddick's tough.
He's scary.
Well, Rachel, thank you for your help today on Chopped. Here we go. I Believe It by John Reddick, the winner today on Musical Chopped on The Wally Show.
Thank you. Have a good day.
It's not just a story. It's a living, breathing, walking testimony.
Recently, my friend's husband was in the ER, so I went over to babysit their 3 kids, all under the age of 5. And so let me just say this, being a mom doesn't leave you with much time for yourself. But that's why I love how Colorado Christian University offers you the ability to earn an associate, bachelor's, or master's degree 100% online.
I want to cash in on an internet trend here. Someday somebody's going to ask you to enter a contest to win a college scholarship, and it's important that you say yes. And that someday starts today, because that's what CCU is giving you the opportunity to do.
Colorado Christian University is offering you a chance to win a $10,000 or $5,000 scholarship towards that degree.
And even if you don't win the grand prize, you can still get a $1,000 scholarship from CCU just for entering.
To enter, text CCU to 91979 or go to ccu.edu/Wally.
The contest is going to end April 10th.
Colorado Christian University, cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
It's time for News-ish.
First, take a deep breath in, step into a space of gratitude, and get in the zone.
You learn to work with anything that happens here.
I think you're ready. It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
Ever been to church in space? Well, Artemis II astronaut Victor Glove took everyone to church. They were planning to enter go around the backside of the moon. And if you remember history, and more specifically the movie Apollo 13, you'll know this is where they lose communication with Earth. But I love that this was Victor's last message before entering radio silence.
And as we get close to the nearest point to the moon and farthest point from Earth, I would like to remind you of one of the most important mysteries there on Earth, and that's love. Christ said in response to what was the greatest command, that it was to love God with all that you are. And he also said the second is equal to it, and that is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so as we prepare to go out of radio communication to all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you from the moon.
Houston copies. We'll see you on the other side.
I like how it gets really professional all of a sudden. That's right, Artemis, we have you. Thank you very much for your insightful wisdom. But she has to be that,
Yeah, but I think that's awesome. It just goes to show, God can use anything to get his name out there, and that's just so cool. And I can't help but, anybody who goes to space and they see what these people are seeing, how can you not believe in God?
Yeah, I can't imagine, seeing that, how that would change your perspective, because you get even a glimpse of a God's eye view. You still don't even get his whole picture. Mm-hmm. You get this small little glimpse of our speck in the universe, and to think that God created us, gave us Earth, loved us enough to send his son to die for us, that would be nothing short of humbling. Mm-hmm. And it shows you your place. I wish everyone could get that perspective, because I think it would change the way everything looks down here as well. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And if you follow the case of Savannah Guthrie's missing mom, it's heartbreaking for the family. And there's still no word on finding her, capturing the person. And Savannah has finally started kind of talking about it openly.
Yeah, and it's surprising, too, because her mom has been missing for over 2 months, and they still have no answers. But over the Easter holiday, you would think that she would keep quiet, but Savannah, she put out a social media post, a video of her talking about what she's personally walking through, her difficulty with keeping her faith when she doesn't know how her mom is doing. But she brought up a really valid point about how she's fighting with her faith and her disappointment in God.
We are taught to take comfort in the fact that Jesus, in his short life, experienced every single emotion that we humans can feel. Recently, though, I have questioned whether Jesus really ever experienced this particular wound that I feel of deep disappointment with God.
And she brings up a valid point in that, there is no answer as to, she doesn't know the condition of her mom. Right. Where is she?
Right.
Is she alive? And, she talks further in the video about how God always knew the ending. He always had the answer. And so she said, sometimes I catch myself thinking, well, I'm experiencing a pain that Jesus in his short life here on earth did not experience.
Right.
So she realizes that she's wrong in her thinking, but she's also saying it's not wrong to not fight with God, but go back and forth and really wrestle with him on why you believe what you do.
I appreciate the honesty of that, and the thing about it is Jesus might not have experienced that particular pain, but God did. God experienced losing somebody, and stuff. And so leaning into that, I think when you go through something that's difficult, it challenges your perspective, of how you see the hard stuff. And some people go through really difficult things and they have this great view of it. And you're like, wow, I wish I could see things that way. Mm-hmm. And other people struggle. I would be more in the struggle camp of wondering where God is, how God is, what's he doing, what's he not doing.
But like you said, I'm thankful that Savannah is being honest and open with everyone about her battle with God, because I think a lot of people resonate with that. They don't resonate with the people that have that kind of faith where it was like, I don't care, I got blew up and I'm still happy.
Yeah, I just believed.
It takes a faith, a hard fought faith, and that's what she's walking through.
And so that's what we want to talk about with you right now is, how did you maybe have to change your perspective? Because that's the hard thing, man. We don't always understand the reason behind something. And so how do you choose to see it through a different lens to get past the disappointment of things not going the way that you want them to go?
Yeah, I know in my personal life, I've dealt with and still deal with some avenues of my life where I don't have answers. And I do feel every now and then that disappointment with God. But when I have a perspective shift, when it's focused more on the eternal than what I can see here,
right,
it helps me deal with it better.
There you go. That's Betty's way. What's yours? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. I'd love to get your perspective on this because you and your experience might be the exact thing that somebody needs to hear today to help them get out of the thing that they're in and the place that they're in. So 855-33-WAY-FM. If you want to weigh in, we'd love it. Have you ever experienced something like that?
I have. My nephew, who was 32, died one night in the middle of the night with me holding him in my hands, and he suddenly, tragically passed away. During that moment, heart was broken completely, and so life didn't happen the way I had thought it was going to happen for him. And so not long after that, I was struggling with the process of how do I deal with this and holding the pieces of a broken heart and a broken life and disappointment in God and questioning, Lord, how can you possibly feel what I feel? Because you raised Jesus from the dead, and I can't quite understand how you can connect with what I'm feeling right now. And so one night in an honest prayer, I just said, God, if there's a way you can show me a different perspective, I ask you to do that. Well, that night I had a dream, and in this dream, I saw multitudes of people going down this path, and they were falling into a pit. And I rushed over to try to help them come out of the pit, and I realized in that moment when I woke up that I saw the heart of God as a father breaking every day for people that do not choose him. And so loss for him is very real. Disappointment for him is very real. And it helped me connect my pain to his heart to realize he knew exactly what I was going through.
Have you ever had to change your perspective in the midst of disappointment with God?
I have. I experienced multiple pregnancy losses, and my question to God wasn't, why did this happen to me? It was, why did he choose me for that little time to be a mother to those babies? And why did he choose me to be able to see the beauty on the other side of something that was rather devastating? So that is kind of the perspective that I took, that, this is terrible, this is devastating, but God still has a purpose. He still has a plan. There is beauty at the end of this situation.
I think that's hard for a lot of people to grasp, is that God can prevent things, but he doesn't. He doesn't prevent loss for people. He doesn't prevent death for people. He doesn't prevent hurt for people. And sometimes some atrocities. He doesn't prevent them. So someone that's gone through something really bad, to hear that God has a plan and he's good and he's for you, I think people really wrestle with that. And maybe it does take that perspective shift of seeing that we live in a broken world where bad things happen. God is ultimately still in control, and he can redeem what gets broken.
Well, yes, we can have the emotions. We can be heartbroken. We can feel sad. We can even get mad. But to know that at the end, God is still sovereign. God is still in control. That is what helps to carry a lot of people through, is that peace that ultimately he is in control of every bit of it.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. And last night, small group, we were kind of talking about prayer. And I may have done some damage at small group.
Doing what?
Being me.
Were you cracking jokes?
No.
When it was supposed to? Okay.
No.
Sleeping?
We were talking about, wow, your guys' opinion.
I mean, it's true. You've done both
Yeah,
multiple
you're right.
times.
We were talking about prayer, and it's funny because Eric, the guy who leads it, is like looking for stories of how God is like answered your prayers in your life and these big things. And he's like, Wally, you had told me before this that buckle up, you had some good stuff on this.
Oh.
And
had you?
Well, no, that's not what I said. I said I had some questions. And I'm like, so why don't you start with someone else, bro? Because I'm like, I don't fully understand the way that God works and doesn't work. And I want to be real careful about saying, well, this was definitely God and this wasn't God. I wrestled through some of that. But it was nice because we actually had like a really honest conversation about prayer and what is it, and then praying for like our spouses and stuff. So it was like a really cool thing. But we have that advantage of being plugged into a small group to have that conversation. But not everybody has that. Maybe your church doesn't do small groups. Maybe you're between church and you still want that prayer connection with people. We've got you covered.
Yeah, we have our prayer wall available, and it's great for people that want to kind of be under the radar. You don't want to stand out like Wally does. Wally always wants to stand out, whether it's positive or negative. Regardless, it doesn't matter. He speaks up in small group whether you want to hear it or not. But maybe you're a little bit more on the shy side. The prayer wall is perfect for you because you can post a prayer request anonymously, or you can put your name to it, but you can also pray for others. And here's what's so cool. When you pray for someone, you can click a little box towards the left-hand side, and that will notify that person that, hey, you got prayed for. And so maybe that resonates with you. Maybe you're just a prayer warrior. Maybe you've been praying for Wally and you're still waiting for that prayer to get answered. Text the word pray to 91979 and I will send you a link to our prayer wall. That's pray to 91979.
Here's some stuff we thought you might like.
Would it be weird to give you a hug?
I think it'd be weird if you didn't. It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
What you got, Gavin?
When it comes to weight loss, there are numerous options for doing so, including weightlifting, cardio, dieting, and nowadays we have the option of GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, Mounjaro, and Wegovy that aid people in their weight loss journeys.
I saw a video last week with Betty and Joy trying to figure out who ate somebody's pizza here. I think Rue's Pizza here. And it was funny how quickly they turned on our boss, Chris. And they're like, Chris did it. Chris ate it. Chris is like, Sorry, ladies, I'm on Wegovy. I don't want to eat anything.
Yeah, he said he wasn't even hungry.
That's a great tactic.
Yeah,
for
what a great
covering that
I know,
up.
it's so good.
But something has come to light recently for those people who use medicine or a surgery for rapid weight loss, and it's not necessarily positive. Research has shown that those people who rapidly lose weight are apparently twice as likely to go through a divorce compared to people who aren't losing weight. It literally read of the wider population.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a side effect you don't see in the fun commercial where everyone's playing badminton or golf and they're walking around. Oh, yeah. And they're like, may cause catastrophic diarrhea. And you're like, hey, that sounds great. But they don't say may cause divorce.
Yeah.
Why did it say that's, I'm assuming that's not a physical thing, like a chemical imbalance in you, but more like a lifestyle?
Yeah, they listed people who commit to weight loss treatments like this are, they're clearly comfortable making a big life change. They're becoming more social, changing their life, and in a lot of cases, the partner of said person is not necessarily in the same boat as them in terms of pursuing a life change. And so you come to this point where they're on two different wavelengths. They also listed, people who lose weight are self-confident and they are interested in moving on in their life. And then they said that it's not that like weight loss is ending healthy marriages. It's more so about
it was already broken.
It was already broken.
Sure.
And now look at me. I'm new. I'm changed. It's time for something better for me.
It's interesting. My wife just recently ordered Wegovy. And
Yikes.
and she doesn't even need to lose weight. So what does that say?
Is she getting it for you?
Oh, that was not what I was saying. I was making a joke about she just wants to leave me.
I thought we were in the trust tree.
No,
Are we not?
we're not in the trust tree with that. Oh my gosh, Rock. If those roles had been reversed and I had said that about you, people would come after me with pitchforks. You can't say that, but when it goes this direction, ouch.
I said it because it's so nonsensical.
Yeah.
Why would you need that?
Oh,
You're
so
as
good.
light as a feather.
Oh, really? Thank you. I feel better now. If you surround yourself with unique people, sometimes you have to be the one that celebrates you. Hey, it's the Wally Show. I'm Wally. And that's kind of my life that I'm in.
You're celebrating yourself?
Yes.
Because no one else will do it?
I don't get celebrated much by the people in my life. They need it from me. But it very rarely comes back to me.
I think I would like to point out that you rarely give us anything to celebrate.
See, and that's my point. And so sometimes you have to find the goodness in you yourself.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Yeah. So I realized this about myself the other day. There's a very simple thing I do all the time that makes me feel good about myself and makes me go, I'm a good person, okay? And it's very simple.
Yeah.
When you're on the highway, let's say you're driving Jubal down the road. Yeah, you're driving your car. And then there's a big giant truck, a semi, and he wants to come over in your lane. What do? You cut him off?
Speed up so he can...
So he cannot get in your lane.
Well, I mean, I could slow down, but then he's going to slow me down.
Right. See, because it's all about you. That's what we're discovering. That's my point. What do? I slow down, I give him the space, and then flash. I flash my lights at him.
Wow, aggressive.
No, that's what you do with big trucks, because then what happens is the big truck goes, oh, he's giving me the space. They come into your lane, and then, do you know what they do? They will flick their their lights on their truck, on the back of the truck, and it will go blink, blink. And it's a thank you for letting me in, because it's hard. No one looks out for them on the road. No one cares about these sailors of the blacktop seas like I do. And so that is the code that we live by on the highway.
Okay, hypothetically.
Sure.
You are running late to something, and you've got to be there. You should have been there 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But this sailor on the blacktop sea needs to get in your lane.
Right.
Then what?
Because he has a much tougher day than me, regardless of what my day looks like. I'm still going to let him in. Like, blink, blink, come on, let's go.
You, sir, are a selfless person.
Thank you very much.
A servant.
Yep.
Always putting others before yourself on the daily.
It's the Enneagram 2 in me just coming out every day. And so That is a simple thing that I do, that when I do it, I feel connected to that truck driver and I feel better about myself. And so this is what I want to talk about, because no one's going to celebrate you in your life, especially if you have people like Betty around. Like, you have to celebrate yourself, okay? So what is that thing? It's a simple thing that you do that makes you feel good about yourself. Maybe you always hold the door for people. Maybe like that's another thing I do. Oh my gosh, I'm amazing. And so like I'll hold the door for somebody when they're halfway in the parking lot and I have to stand there and wait for them and make awkward eye contact the whole time. Yep. Come on. All right, Grams, let's go. Pick her on up. And then, well, thank you, young man. Well, ma'am, it is a pleasure. You just have a great day now. So that's another thing that I do. So I would love to hear from good people, okay? Like myself. 855-33 Way FM. What's it, Noah, that said he's the humblest man, I think, in the Bible? I think it was Noah. He's
gonna let you know.
Yeah.
I'm the humblest man.
Yeah, I think it was Noah that was like, and Noah was the humblest man. It's like, well, you wrote that book, dude. So 855-33 Way FM. We'd love to get your story of what is that simple thing you do that makes you feel good about yourself. We'll take it now. What is that thing, John, that you do that makes you feel good about yourself?
Well, I have PTSD. And so one of the things I've found is that if I make other people laugh, it makes me laugh and feel great.
It's amazing how a joke or like a compliment can be disarming for people when it's not done creepy. There's a big important factor into that. But like you can actually disarm somebody, and where you can say, hey, and have a blessed day or whatever. I am curious, if you don't mind asking me, John, what is it that led you to have PTSD?
I'm a retired Navy diver.
Oh, wow.
And though it was not combat related, it was definitely work related.
Well, I respect that. I wanted to be a diver as well. I wanted to be like hard hat diving. And and then they're like, well, these suits that you have to wear are like hundreds of pounds. And I'm like, oh, that will break me. So I respect you, man. I appreciate you listening to the show. And I hope that on the days when it maybe is tough for you to laugh, that we can do that for you.
God bless you and your family, my friend.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show. Donovan, hey, I hear you drive a truck. Is that correct?
Yes, Wally, it is.
Okay.
I've been driving for 42 years.
Love that. He is a sailor on the blacktop seas. And so I always feel good about myself when I let the truck merge into my lane. I give him the flash. And I love when you guys flash your lights back. It's just a good feeling that Betty Rock will never know, because Betty Rock's that person like cuts him off.
Get out of the way!
Road hog!
I appreciate when people show us respect, because what do you have and what do you use is not brought to you by a truck.
That's right.
Good point.
Like the guy that brings out your Amazon package in a little van, that got to him by a truck. That got to him by a man named Donovan that's getting the job done.
Donnie!
Yeah, and I would imagine Betty probably would pull us back in front of the trucks and slow us down where they got to slow down too, right?
Yeah, absolutely she would. You're absolutely right, Donovan.
Okay, that was a little bit too personal.
Donovan, I appreciate you listening to the show, and keep it between the white lines, good sir.
I will do it, man. Appreciate it. Enjoy listening to y'all. Thank you.
All right, 10-10 on the side. Little CB talk.
Bye-bye.
Bye. What's yours?
So, for years, anytime I see a police officer, somebody in the healthcare field, if I can tell they are, if they're wearing scrubs or something, a firefighter, or somebody in the armed service, I make a point to go up to them and bless them and thank them for their service.
I think that's great, to honor them and just to notice them and give them respect. I think that's awesome. Would you extend this same courtesy to an amateur first responder like myself?
Of course I would.
He respects me. Anthony respects me, Betty Lou.
Well, here's the thing. Anthony, what if you saw that this amateur first responder was making the situation worse than it needed to be? Would you still say, God bless you?
I am not in the results-oriented business. I am in the action business.
Hey, amateur first responders, we're the same.
Uplifting Way FM. Dumbing down the celebrity drama. The Rock Report.
With Betty Rock.
AI is getting better and better every day. Recently, I was talking with my dad, and I was warning him. I was like, you got to pay attention. Like, some things may look real, but they're actually fake. I even have to remind Wally of this sometimes when he shows me, look, this otter is wearing a beret. How cute. How did they do that? And I'm like, it's AI, sir.
Still cute.
Anyway, but anyways, as I was talking to my dad, he was telling me that his best friend was sharing with him some videos, and he's like, look at this artist. This artist did this song about God. Isn't that crazy? And you look at it and you're like, it's clearly AI. For example, Celine Dion with Wonderful Jesus.
I'd like to hear her and Phil Wickham.
Oh,
I'd like
gosh.
AI Phil Wickham, the two of them together would be amazing.
Well, Lauren Daigle.
What?
If you didn't know it, she got together with Eminem. No. And it's called All My Praise.
Let the beat drop like Jericho's walls, because when he shows up, every stronghold falls. Didn't need a pulpit, didn't need a crown.
Okay, but if you see these things, don't believe them.
Yeah.
It would be nice, but it's not truth. And people are finding that out the hard way because there is a new artist that is taking the music world by storm. His name is Eddie Dalton, and he's not real. He's all AI. He's got currently 11 songs on the iTunes Top 100, 2 in the Top 10. He's got the number 3 album.
How is that possible?
He's got 1.4 million views on YouTube with this hit called Another Day Old.
We're just passing through time, like the wind through the pines. Just small little pieces in a bigger design. The older I get, the more that I know. There ain't nothing wrong with being another day old.
I gotta admit, I wanted to hate it, but I kind of don't.
I mean, we're getting to that day and age where I think eventually we'll see like an award show like the Grammys, but it's all going to be AI artists. And the creators will get up there and take the
and they'll get the award.
trophy.
It's not have to share any of the royalties.
Exactly.
How great is that? I mean, because AI does let you do a lot of like production and music and stuff, but a lot of AI stuff actually sounds the same. Like you'll hear like an AI, hey, I just did this AI song with a country voice, and it starts to sound the same on all the different platforms.
Right. But I will say that, Wally, you take it to a more creative edge. Like recently when you redid Beauty and the Beast in a country way with, what was it? The Tailgate?
A tailgate is its time. Yeah.
Got it.
Tale as old as time. She's out of my league, I'm stuck in the friend zone. I'll always be alone unless she can see me. Just a little glimpse. She looked in my cross eye, my back is full of hair. She doesn't seem to care. And maybe this is why she's the beauty and I'm the beast. She has perfect skin and I have tried.
Why isn't this in the top Billboard charts?
I don't know, because I guess I'm not Eddie Dalton.
I guess not. Well, you can actually see the video for this if you text the word beauty to 91979, and I will send it to you. That's beauty to 91979.
She's the beauty and I'm the beast.
Uplifting Away FM, this is The Wally Show. And Sight and Sound Studios, they do these Broadway-style plays, and they're all stories from the Bible, and they do them in Branson, Missouri, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And it's just, the quality of their work is amazing. And now they're branching out into film, and there's a film called The Great Awakening. And it's an interesting, like, historical film about the relationship between George Whitefield, who was a pastor, and one of our founding fathers, who was Benjamin Franklin. And it's interesting to see the relationship between these two, because Franklin wasn't a man of faith like Whitefield, who was a pastor, was, and he was a big part of the Great Awakening here. But even as a pastor, like, he had his flaws too.
I don't think we can look at any hero of the faith, Bible or not, that was flawless. Like the
Right.
whole point of this thing we get to live out in Christianity is that God works through imperfect and broken people for his purposes. Like that's the core message of everything that we do at Sight and Sound, honestly. And so to watch that unfold in not just Ben's life, like we never paint Ben as a spiritual figure. He really wasn't. But even George had a flawed life. And not only did the Lord work through them, but he changed the whole course of what our nation is built on. And so, whether you use the term Christian nation or not, you can't ignore the fact that the concept of liberty being for all people, of the value of people, that all comes from biblical principles. And it was really ignited from the Great Awakening and this concept of Christianity is based on love and relationship more than anything else. Like that's the roots. If you keep going back, that's where it all comes from, which is just wild.
But I think you guys did a really good job at balancing the historical part of it. That's what I resonated with, because I have the faith stuff and I learned about it, but I love the connection between history. Coincidence that this movie comes out now, or is it like, I think this movie is perfect for this time that we're in?
Listen, it's one of my favorite moments in the whole film. Ben and George have this like wonderful friendship, and at one point one of them says coincidence and the other one says or providence.
Yeah.
I think we would all lean towards it's providence. We started producing this film, writing the script almost 5 years ago, that the story started in our hearts. And so as we got closer and we were like, oh, this is going to hit on the 250th anniversary of the nation, it became this very real thing to us of what I believe the Lord's heart is for the world, not just America, but like the heart for the world of a spiritual awakening and drawing people closer to him. And what better time to have that happen when we're celebrating our 250th, and the word liberty is everywhere. We're seeing celebration of liberty, celebration of 250th and liberty, but where does that liberty come from? Because it's very flat if you don't have the depth and the roots of where it comes from in the first place.
I will say that I saw the film, and it's interesting, like one of the acting choices, you might be like, that's odd, because he's like, yes, and Ben, another thing, good sir. And you're like, wow, that is a weird choice that he's playing this. So I started digging into George Whitefield and trying to learn about him, kind of like Lin-Manuel Miranda did with Hamilton, to find out more. And it turns out that this guy, he was noted for having this big, huge voice and could speak to tens of thousands of people without needing a any kind of amplifier. And so that's why he's like, yes, good sir.
And thusly,
enunciation is the key. That in the Lord Jesus, So yeah, but it's an interesting take on history. And so I wanted to talk more about that, and also to give her a little version of what this could sound like if they took it back to stage with Hamilton style influences. And so we'll do that in 10 with Katie Miller from Sight and Sound on The Wally Show. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and recently we had the pleasure of having Miss Katie Miller from Sight and Sound Studios on the show with us, because they do Broadway-style plays of Bible stories, but they have a new feature film out called The Great Awakening, and it's kind of about the Great Awakening that happened with Pastor George Whitefield. But then I didn't know there was a whole storyline of him and Benjamin Franklin that had this crazy friendship. And while this movie may be about history, which some people might think is boring, but this is about the relationship between these two friends who were like polar opposites in their views on faith, and how that story actually can be relative to us and our people today. I just kept seeing so many applicable layers that I don't even know were intentional, but they're there because of the story. Like if you look at it, you got Whitefield, who's a pastor, and he's trying so hard to reach his friend. He reaches all these other people, but one of the people that was closest to him, he could never break through. But he didn't stop trying and praying for that person. Right there is something that somebody watching this goes, that's my aunt, that's my uncle, that's my husband.
And isn't that often how it feels, right? You don't necessarily on the outside, I don't know that I would have ever said, oh yeah, I identify with Ben Franklin or I identify with George Whitefield, but when you watch the film, you really do. There's a lot of layers to it.
Yeah, as I looked through that lens watching it, I would love to say I was Whitefield and on fire and I'm leading people to Jesus and I talk about it every day on the radio and the podcast and all this stuff. But then as I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, I'm more Ben. I got the doubt and the gout. Like,
yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Like somebody said something so profound after that we did a premiere a little bit ago, and an older gentleman, and he's a very stoic personality, and he said, this movie hit me in places that I haven't been touched in a while. And I said, can you articulate why? And he got really quiet, and he said, if I'm being honest, I identify way more with Ben than I expected to. And he said the same thing. He goes, I want to be George, but the core of me is Ben. And he said, when I watch Ben, without giving spoilers, Ben kind of break at the end, he said something broke inside of me too. And I was like, that's profound. Like, it's beautiful.
Any movie about faith where you get somebody who has been stubborn, and especially if it's a guy, and you get him to break and see the heart of God and understand the immense love and compassion he has for you, that gets me. It breaks me, because sometimes I struggle in that area, you know? So what's the heart of this movie?
I would say the heart of this film is that at the end of the day, the gospel is based on love, relationship, and true liberty, which can only be found in Jesus. And from there, an outpouring of that is what changes the world. There's my favorite quote in the whole movie is Ben Franklin saying, one tiny candle illuminates 1,000. And no matter where we are in life, you know, whether you are a stay-at-home mom, whether you are in the workforce, whether you are a student, no matter where you are, you have the opportunity to be that candle that ignites a fire around you for whatever the Lord has placed in your heart to be passionate about. And I think knowing where we are and that identity in Christ first is what really leads the way to that candle being ignited in each of us.
The movie is The Great Awakening. I did realize something, though. I've been in film, Betty Lou, but I have not been on stage in a Broadway musical. And so that's the next thing I need to conquer. And I think that Sight and Sound and Katie can help me out with that.
A Star is Born.
Thank you. You see the genesis, the moment that this happened.
You've already got the tenacity.
Yeah.
You've already got the confidence.
Yeah.
Where you shouldn't. The voice.
Yeah, I like the talent. Let's be honest.
You're very loud.
Yeah. And sometimes that's what you need in Broadway. So the thing about this is I thought it would be fun to show her what it could sound like if you take this movie and took it back to Broadway, do it the opposite way, and maybe do it Hamilton style. And so I'm going to basically do an audition for her. And so, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I have been waiting for this.
Yeah, and so we'll do that in 10.
This cannot crash and burn
at
all.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And so we had Katie Miller in from Sight and Sound Studios that do these Broadway-style plays from Bible stories. And I got to tell you, they're spectacular. They're spectacles. They're so good. And they recently did a movie of the Great Awakening, you know, that religious revival that happened back in Ben Franklin times. And it's the story of George Whitefield, the pastor, and his unlikely friendship with one of our founding fathers, Ben Franklin. And it's an interesting historical movie and a faith movie at the same time. And I was curious if Sight and Sound was inspired, or at least encouraged by the success of Hamilton to take on a story that has, a political backdrop to it, and if they would ever bring this movie back to the stage Hamilton style. So I created a Hamilton style song as kind of my audition to work in this project here for the Great Awakening, and I wanted to get her thought on it and what she thought.
Yo, we got a revolution going on. Did I say revolution? I mean revelation, son. This one's not with guns, but a fight for hearts and minds. It ain't about status or station, it's about relation, transformation. You are his creation. He gives salvation, every person, every generation. The revelation, cause for celebration, the inspiration and foundation for your education, the dedication and communication, all the preparation for your elevation. Wake up to this new revival. Wake up, more than reprisal. This is all brand new and it's all for you. Wake up to this new revival. Wake up, more than reprisal. This is all brand new and it's all for you. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
I'm sold. I have one question.
Yes.
What character are you going to play?
Oh, I got to play Ben.
All right.
I'm old, I've got gout, and I've got a dad bod.
Doubt and gout. I think I'm going to start using that phrase. I love it.
So good.
You're hired.
I don't care if it is Dalton Gout that gets me the role. I am 100% in.
You got to roll with the punches, you know? And you're doing that well.
It's kind of sad, too. Like, I'd be like, okay, Ben Franklin had dad bod, kind of a belly there. You've seen the pictures. And, hey, I don't even need to go to costuming, you know?
They'd be like, he's made for the role.
He's perfect. Typecasting. So if you want to see the video, though, because I took their trailer from their movie that they spent all this money to shoot and then put it with this song. And so if you want to check it out.
Yeah, just text the word SIGHT, SIGHT, to 91979, and we will send you the link. That's SIGHT to 91979. Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.